My name is Hwaryong Lee. I'm a fellow of KDI in the Department of Competition Policy. So unlike Bruce, I'm going to give you some comparative perspectives on labor and skill sharing this morning. So the question on my agenda today is threefold. Where are we standing in labor and skill sharing in Korea, and what are the challenges we are facing, and what can be done about that? So let me give you a little bit of current status and background. So let me begin by defining the concept of labor and skill sharing. By labor and skill sharing, I mean the transaction between the peers who need certain talents and those who can provide those talents through an online platform. So it's basically connection, the transaction between people who has time to spare with people who has money to spare. Okay, so for the sake of this presentation, I'm going to call all types of human capital, including labor, skill, service, knowledge, experiences, as a talent. Okay, so this is distinguished from other types of the sharing economy because it's not involving tangible assets. Take an example of accommodation sharing. It clearly involves a room or house. Crowdfunding involves money, for example, and this does not need any tangible assets. So if you have any talent, any type of talent, you can be a micro-entrepreneur. So I divided the types of labor and skill sharing into two, depending on the feature of the talent to be traded in a market. First, I call it a P2P labor market if talents are rather standardized or simple errand type tasks. For example, getting your dry cleaning picked up would fall into this category. In this market, the talent providers tend to have less bargaining power over the platform and the consumers, and the talents are rather not scarce. And second type is a P2P scale market when talents are less of standardized tasks and more of intellectual assets, knowledge, experience, skills, etc. So if you have a unique travel experiences and you want to share this experience with others, then it would fall into a P2P scale market. So so how did it all started? So the trend, this actually came up in the crowdfunding section by Pankit. So the transaction between peers is not new, right? People hire someone to do chores for them every day, so it's not new at all. But the difference here is the transaction volume, as noted by Pankit. So let me point you to how TaskRabbit started in the first place. So the TaskRabbit started in the right middle of economic crisis of 2008. And then TaskRabbit has grown at an exponential rate over only a few years. So it is strikingly fast growth, and it's not a coincidence that this happened during recession, because during recession you can expect more participation from both demand and supply sides. On the supply side, you can expect that when unemployment is on the rise, you are willing to work at lower wages, and on the demand side, you are willing to consume lower quality products. Although the quality is not guaranteed, it's going to give you lower price. So because the disposable household income is declining during recession, so the price sensitivities are increased and so on. So and then ICT technology is also an essential component of the sharing economy. So online platform lowered the transaction cost substantially while improving matching quality. So this led to the rise in transaction volume. So this enables anyone to start a business at very low cost if you have any type of talents. So it's good. And the reduction in search costs actually enable people to search for unique jobs, and this creates a new market. So this TaskRabbit is often called as a marketplace for odd jobs. So these jobs would not have been able to trade it otherwise. So this is new. So what are the expected benefits for participants? For talent providers, there are clear benefits. It can become your additional income sources, and flexible, independent work schedule is a big plus. And this can be also used as a career building or method for work history and ability verification. And for policymakers, this is good because it's going to create job opportunities for women on career breaks, the retired, and the elderly. And it also provides some alternatives for artists and athletes whose success is rare unless they are superstar, right? So. So this is good. I actually, from this, I saw a strong potential for growth in this section in Korea, especially in Korea, because we have huge idle human capital who are highly educated. So early retirement has accelerated, and aging population is main issue. So I see a strong potential in this section, in this sector. And for talented consumers, affordable, personal, convenient, and efficiency services are always good. And in a peer-to-peer skill sharing, this helps socially disadvantaged to obtain necessary skills at a reasonable price and to build human networks. So this can be socially good. So, and you can think of this too. So startups can recruit the necessary labor forces at their convenience and at a reasonable price, because startups often are short on labor forces, right? So this could be a good a source for labor force. So what's the current status? This is not at all the comprehensive list of sharing economy companies in this sector. I just give you the flavor. So Korean firms in this business are still in infancy. We have a Wisdom, Crazy Monkey. We have a CEO and founder of Wisdom here with us. But I feel sorry about that because I misspelled the company name in the handout. Please take my sincere apologies. But so, as you can see in the establishment year, it's pretty recent, and it's very small. I think he can give us more information about this. And in the United States, various types of firms are operating in this sector in a larger scale, but mostly in major cities like Boston and San Francisco, and many of them are specialized in certain talents. For example, Care.com, Brishan already mentioned, but you provide like child care or elderly care, and in Instacart, you can get your grocery delivered, and Handy and HomeJoy provide your cleaning services or household chores. So it's good. Like, I'm a full-time working mom. It's really good for me. So but the transaction size is still small, so they stayed as a small transaction just yet. But but we can see a great potential behind this. So what are the challenges and what can be done about this? So most of these challenges are shared by other sectors in the sharing economy. I just want to evaluate those challenges in this particular sector. And, but these challenges are not yet materialized in Korea because, as I already said, this is really just beginning in Korea. So it's not big, but it's becoming much importance in the United States, so it's better get prepared. So this comes out every time we have a presentation, right? The conflict with existing businesses. So for now, these jobs are more part-time rather than full-time. So this does not cause much conflict. But The problem is there is a growing trend of procedure standardization and task standardization to enhance matching quality and matching speed in the United States. So this, because the tasks are standardized, those sharing company is bringing more direct competition to existing service providers. But existing businesses are not stupid. They are going to adapt to the change, maybe by differentiating their products. So I'm not too much worried about this, but I guess we have to be concerned more about the licensed industry. So cheaper services may become available as individuals can enter the market freely. For example, you can think of some unqualified individuals like students provide some services like local tour and interpretation services. Actually, this kind of services can be provided by someone who passed certain exams in Korea. So this is, if you are doing this for money, then it's illegal. But on TaskRabbit or something like that, this is not, this can be done, right? So social, but the problem is the social benefits might be reduced when it comes to the services under safety or quality regulations. But on the other hand, the benefit increase is also likely in the sector where competition has been stifled due to artificial entry barriers. So we have a good side, both good side and bad side on this. And I really want to stress this because this is not just that the sharing economy is going to replace the existing businesses, or existing businesses are going to definitely getting worse off, because the sharing economy could have a complementary effect on the existing businesses. So the sharing economy platform enables the first consumption at a low price in the sector for experience goods. In the experience goods sector, you don't know the quality unless you consume it. So, and at the same time, this platform can be used for promotion or as a test marketplace. I see great potential in this. So I just want to stress there is a good thing about the sharing economy for existing businesses. So what can be done to minimize the conflict with existing businesses? The first thing we can think of is market regulation. So the government may require for talent providers to have certification, or they may ban a platform in which talent that demands any type of certificate is traded. Then the talent providers will be blocked from entering the market at all, and the growth potential could be critically undermined. So the other types of regulation we can think of is setting the time limit on the service provision of the platform service and demands a certificate. But this is close to the concept of temporary supplier that Dr. Huang talked about yesterday. But here the talents are not unique. I mean, in accommodation sharing, the service is only provision of accommodation. But here your talent could be writing, or your talent could be cleaning. So it may be so hard to sum up all the total times of services. So I think the effectiveness of a time limit is uncertain in this sector. So maybe we should explore other options. And there are some platforms, self-driven solutions. So they may demand the talent providers to unleash their talent information, very detailed information. Then consumers are going to self-select to higher quality workers at high prices, or they can choose to consume low quality services at low prices. So market might work in this sector. And And actually, TaskRabbit has created the performance metric. So the platforms may have created their own system to evaluate evaluate their workers. Then it's going to provide some information of the workers. So this could be one solution. And but regulations related to public interest, like safety issues, shall be applied to all talent providers. So, and it's also possible that the market will have a platform that provides a link to a licensed talent provider, meaning that certain problems may be solved by the market itself. So we have a Kakao Taxi. So this is like Uber, but the service can be provided only by taxi drivers. So this is open only to licensed workers. So this is new platform, additional supplementary income sources for existing service providers. So I think a market would have some power to solve this by itself. The problem is a weak institutional framework. On this issue, I think Prishin already covered a lot of the issues. So the legal relationship between talent providers and the platform is not clear. So who should be classified as an employee and who should be classified as an independent contractor? That's not clear. So and because this relationship is not clear, there are uncertainties over taxation, social security, and the scope of the platform's responsibility. So we have to clarify what's the legal relationship between talent providers and the platform. And this actually causes social risks because external risks are going to be, so talent providers are going to be fully responsible for all the external risks because any social securities are not going to be provided to them. So people are concerned about the labor market instability and social insecurity, and these issues are increasingly important in the United States. This is even a hot issue in presidential campaign in the United States, and there are ongoing employment lawsuits in which people are requiring the platform to accept them as employees rather than as independent contractors. And actually, HomeJoy, which was a really superstar in this sector, used to be a superstar in this sector, had to close its operation in last August because of this ongoing lawsuits. So we really need to discuss about that, how to define the work relationship in the sharing economy, and how can we share the externalities that trigger the risks among the participants in this sharing economy. So here, I just want to point out one thing. So can you classify these workers as employees? It seems very hard to be accepted in Korean legal system because even workers in special employment like golf caddy or golf caddy or some others are regarded as an independent contractor in Korean legal system. They have a much closer relationship to the business, but they are still not regarded as employees. So I think it's a long way in our Korean system to accept them as employees and provide them some social securities. I think most desirably, the supplier will need to find own solution through an association and support platform in the United States. Such platforms like Freelancers Union and peers are actually doing this. They are supporting talented suppliers through giving them financial advices or giving them the average wages in each platform, something like that. So they are doing this for free, but the government may consider starting this kind of association, maybe. And transaction risks. So this exists in every sector of the sharing economy because of a high information, because it involves a lot of people, and it involves a lot of heterogeneity in people who are participating in the sector. So here in labor and skill sharing sector, information asymmetry comes from non-standardized services and transactions. And crime risks are also involved because the jobs are mostly performed on site. But maybe some writing or editing can be done online. But for now, the tasks are mostly performed on site. And it's difficult to pick out one party between individual participants and platform responsible when any of the participants in the transaction are unsatisfied. So because individual participants are peers, so they don't have enough ability to cope with this transaction mishap. And the platform is also in infancy, so they don't have enough capability either. So it's really difficult. And in the United States, firms actually focus on the satisfaction of the talented consumer rather than the satisfaction of the talented provider. They use the reviews of talented consumers to control the service quality and give disadvantage to talented providers who do not respect certain rules. So this is quite tricky because you're talking about the independent contractor and intermediator relationship, but this intermediator is requiring you to do certain things. So this comes tricky. But the United States, the US firms are doing this, so we will see what happens. And the solutions to information asymmetry can come in market. I mean, more emphasis can be done on the sense of responsibility through preliminary screening, SNS, and photo release to the public, or you can provoke opinion exchanges between participants. And here, government can step in by approving an access right to the information, like background checks, criminal records, or etc. So that's going to be needed in preliminary screening done by the platform. So I'm thinking this information asymmetry may solve out naturally as market grows. And then the provision of a safe transaction process will be helpful. And you can think of government's direct assistance by providing job seekers a venue for the promotion of their talents, or they can promote or encourage the use of talent sharing opportunities through startup support projects. So this is happening in the UK. So who should take the responsibility? When the transaction risk is realized, who should be held responsible? It's hard to decide, as I already said, the talented supplier, talented consumer, and the platform, they are all small-sized. So they cannot take full responsibility for transaction risk. So we really need a system that can minimize moral hazard from both sides and at the same time provide some protection in the event of a transaction incident. And there are other issues. I'm in the Department of Competition Policy, so I'm more concerned about this issue. So sharing economy is actually network economy, one of network economies. So it involves the economies of scale and the economies of scope. So there is a natural preference for a larger sized platform participated by many players. So it's really natural to expect that the industry is going to be monopolized. But the way I see it is that the outcomes of the project in this talent sector, this work sharing, are mostly presented offline. So the markets are rather local than global. But as Brushin already pointed out, if the tasks can be done online, then this sharing economy is going to bring direct competition. So Well, so the market is going to be global. So we will. So if market is local, then network size is limited. So I don't see much. I don't think the monopolization problem is going to be serious. But if so, there's no imminent sign of a large multinational company trying its way into the Korean market. But it's still possible because they have a much more reputation and they have a know-how of their kind. So they may enter the domestic market without much difficulty. And another issue is the free riding problem. So I think this is kind of unique to labor and skill sharing because a talented consumer and talent provider may arrange a separate contract outside the platform once the information is given to them. So they may be free riding on the information content provided the platform. They may not pay the fee, they just back out and then they just make a separate contract. Then this business is not sustainable. And in the case of a recurring continued project that requires a specific talent, then the best workers are more likely to leave the market with a long-term contract. So this also undermines the prospect of this business. So here, I think I learned that maybe market will work out in the social security issue because the platform should provide some value added here, right? Otherwise, people will leave. So because of this free riding problem. So they are going to care about talent provider, the platform, when platform competition is sufficiently given. And so the platform will be broadening its role beyond a simple link, providing momentum for a continuing use by both talented consumer and talented provider. So, for example, platforms can be regarded as a credible reference or a certificate. And if the platform can create the value added of some kind, then this business will be sustainable. So I'm going to wrap up my presentation, and I'm happy to be here as the very last presenter of this forum. And thank you all for coming.